Welcome all of you to another video of Maths Made Easy. Now in this video we are going to do parallelogram. Okay, now here we are going to do different problems based on parallelogram. This is not area of parallelogram, but it is finding the angles of a parallelogram based on the question, what the question has given us. Okay, so first let us understand what a parallelogram is and what are the different properties of a parallelogram. Okay, so a parallelogram is a quadrilateral which follows certain rules. Opposite sides are parallel. This line will be parallel to this. Similarly, these two are parallel. So opposite sides are parallel in a parallelogram. Okay, then the opposite sides are equal in length also, means if this is 10, this is also 10, if this is 5, this is also 5 centimeters. Okay, opposite sides are equal, opposite sides are parallel. Okay, now the next one is diagonals bisect each other. That means they are not equal. Okay, that doesn't mean they are equal. Okay, the only thing it means is this diagonal has been cut into half. So this is the point where both the diagonals are cut into halves. So maybe this is 7, 7, 8 and 8 like that. Okay, so that is not just that, there's one more rule of a parallelogram, which is opposite angles are equal. These are opposite angles and the value of this will be equal to the value of this. Similarly, these two will be equal. Okay, then what are adjacent angles? These two form adjacent angles. Okay, these are adjacent angles. Similarly, these two are also adjacent. These two, that is side by side angles, are adjacent angles. Okay, these are called adjacent, and adjacent angles are supplementary. That is they will always add up to 180. If this is 60, this will be 120. If this is 120, this will be 60, like that, because these lines are parallel. So these are some of the properties of parallel lines. Now what I am going to do is I am going to do sums based on this. So you will need these properties to solve these sums. That is why I did these properties first. Okay, so let us start with the sums there. Okay, firstly, two adjacent angles of a parallelogram are in this ratio. Find the measure of each angle. So two adjacent angles of a parallelogram means if this is 4x, the other one is 5x. So 4x, 5x. Okay. So here 4x plus 5x is equal to 180. 9x is equal to 180. Okay. Then x is equal to 20. So 4x is equal to 80 and 5x is equal to 100. What have they asked? Find the measure of each angle. So one is 80 degrees, another is 100 degree. Again, if this is 100, this will be 80 because opposite angles are equal. No? So if this is 80, this will also be 80. If this is 100, this will also be 100. Okay, so 80, 100, 80 and 100. These are the measures of all the angles of the parallelogram. Next question. The perimeter of a parallelogram is 140. One of its sides is longer than the other by 10. Now this is a parallelogram. Okay. So if this is x, the other one is 10. Find the length of each of the sides. Okay. Perimeter of a parallelogram is 140. So x and x plus 10. So x plus x plus x plus 10 plus x plus 10. Okay, that makes the perimeter, right? X, if this is x, one angle is longer than the other. So this is one angle, one side, this is longer than the other. So one side is longer than the other by 10. So this is how we can imagine the parallelogram. X plus 10, that is equal to 140. 4x plus 20 is equal to 140. 4x is equal to 120. X is equal to 30. Find the length of each of its sides. How do we find the length of each of the sides? First is 30 centimeter, Another side, that also 30 centimeter. This is 30, this is 30, here 40 and 40. Okay, 40 centimeter, and the other side is also 40. So all four sides length is here. Okay, total 90 plus 80 I can see is a 60 plus 80 is a 140. Okay. Here in this sum, ABCD is a parallelogram. Prove that this figure AFCE is also a parallelogram. What they have given is AE and FC are bisectors of this angle. Here these two angles are equal, and here these two angles are equal. Now we have two triangles here. One is triangle EDA and triangle CBF. Now in this triangle, AD is equal to BC. Why is it so? Opposite sides of a parallelogram. Okay. Now since these are the bisectors, this angle, okay, I can say angle A is equal to angle C. Half of angle A is equal to half of angle C. Okay. Therefore, can I not say DAE, angle DAE is equal to angle, this angle which is FCB, FCB, FCB. Okay, that means these two angles are equal and these two sides are equal in these two triangles. Okay, also this angle is equal to this. Okay, that is angle D is equal to angle B, because opposite angles of a parallelogram. Now triangle EDA will be congruent to triangle FB. We have to write it properly like congruent triangles FBC. Okay, they are congruent by AAS property. Okay, AASA property. Okay, they are congruent by AASA property. In that case, DE is also equal to FB, that is CP, CT. If it is that, because this is corresponding parts of congruent triangles, these two parts are equal. Now I can say if DE is equal to FP, now I can say something about this. See, this is how you write mathematically. Yeah, if DE is equal to FP, then DC minus DE is equal to AB minus FB. Why? Because these two are equal and these two are also equal. DC is equal to AB because of a parallelogram. So from equals, if we take out equals, then the remaining are equal. Okay, this is equal to this and this is equal to this. So if I say, A is equal to B, and then I say A minus 7, that is equal to B minus 7. Okay, so now therefore DC minus DE is EC is equal to AF. EC is equal to AF. So this is EC is equal to AF, and EC is also parallel to AF because they are part of parallel lines. Therefore, AFCE is a parallelogram. Why? One pair of opposite sides are equal and parallel. Are equal and parallel. And parallel. That's why. Okay. One pair of opposite sides are equal and parallel. Remember, we can prove a quadrilateral to be parallel in many ways. Okay. One of the ways can be one of the ways can be when you prove. One of the ways can be to prove that this is parallel to this is parallel to this. Then you can also prove this is equal, this is equal. That also proves it's a parallelogram. If you can prove opposite angles, both sets are equal, then also it's a parallelogram. Even if you prove diagonals are bisected, diagonals bisect each other, it's a parallelogram. Also you can prove, that is the one we have used, any one pair if you prove is equal and parallel, then the quadrilateral becomes a parallelogram. Okay, it has to be equal and it has to be parallel, then the quadrilateral becomes a parallelogram. Now this is the property, this is the thing that I have used here. We proved this is already parallel because it's a parallelogram, and also equal. We did all that congruence and all to prove that. Therefore this figure is a parallelogram. Okay. The length of the diagonals of a rhombus are, the rhombus is also a parallelogram. That is why it is in this chapter. The only thing in rhombus is all the sides are equal in length. Diagonals of a rhombus are 16 and 12. Okay, one is 16, one is 12. Find the length of each of its sides. They have not given us the sides, they want us to find, and the diagonals are given as 16 and 12. Diagonals bisect for a parallelogram. Okay, so 8 and 8 and 6 and 6, but not just that, there is a special property of a rhombus, and that is in a rhombus diagonals bisect at 90 degree. This angle is a 90. Okay, so 8, 8, 6, 6. Okay, in that case, if I write A, B, C, D, okay, if I write A, B, C, D, then it is CD is equal to, I am using Pythagoras, okay, 8 square plus 6 square, which is 64 plus 36, 100, which is equal to 10. Okay, find the length of each of its sides. Find the length of each of its sides. So every side, now it's a rhombus, every side has to be equal. Therefore, all sides are 10 centimeters. Now this sum is in this chapter because rhombus is also a parallelogram. Here we have a parallelogram. This question says two adjacent angles, means this 3x minus 4, this is 3x plus 16. Find the value of x and hence find the measure of each of its angles. These two will always form a supplementary pair because this is parallel to this. Okay, so 3x minus 4 plus 3x plus 16, that is equal to 180. 6x plus 12 is equal to 180. 6x is equal to 180 minus 12, 168, 6x. Okay, x is equal to 28. Okay, so 3x minus 4 is equal to which is equal to 80 degrees, means this angle becomes an 80 degree. Okay, and 3x plus 16, which is 3 into 28 plus 16, which is equal to 84 plus 16, which is equal to 100. Okay, and the moment we get this, we should also check that it is satisfying, it is coming to 180 or not. So this is 80, here is 100. If this is 80, this angle is 80, this angle is 100. So all the angles, measure of each of its angles are, it is 80 and measure of each of the angles are, measure of each of the angles are 80, 100, 80 and 100. Okay, here we have to follow opposite angles are equal. Okay, so just find for these two and then apply it over the full parallelogram. Okay, so those were few of the questions from parallelogram. I tried to include rhombus also in this, okay, so that it's easier for you all. So this is it from parallelograms. So if you have liked the video, do not forget to like and comment, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe because lots of important questions will be coming up before the exams. Okay, I shall be including more videos very soon. Please check the playlist. Lots of very useful videos of algebraic expressions and videos on factorization are there in the playlist. So you can go through the playlist. Thanks all of you. Bye then. See you in the next video.